Are you ready for another biopic? Today we're taking on Bruce Springsteen. That's right, Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere hits theaters this weekend, and we'll talk about it all, spoiler free.
This is Popcorn for Breakfast, presented by St. Louis Area Smoothie Kings. Now, here are your hosts, Cam and Kurt.
Welcome back to Popcorn for Breakfast. Today is a very special day because today, listeners, you will hear Cam, our very own Cam, sing his own rendition of Born in the USA. He's ready. Cam, take it away.
The only Bruce Springsteen song I know is his rendition of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. So maybe, I know it's spooky season, but maybe if you stick around to the end, maybe I'll treat you guys to a bit of that.
We need to start a Patreon, I think.
Yes.
Special content.
Yes, I like it. Kirk, money first. Let's do that. Let's do that.
You know me, always money first. No. Well, to bury the lead here, or maybe the lead has already been unburied.
It's unburied.
I don't understand that phrase.
It's alive.
Is that today we are talking about Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, directed by Scott Cooper, starring none other than the Bears, Jeremy Allen White. Cam.
Yes.
What do you know about Bruce Springsteen?
I'm glad you asked me this because I do want to get this out of the way quickly.
Yeah.
Just quick history lesson for those who were not around and maybe weren't privy to this. We got absolutely smoked by Bob Dylan fans for a complete unknown. Smoked. I was over here in the YouTube comments, like fighting for my life.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we didn't know enough about Bob Dylan, which I didn't know was a prerequisite to watching a Bob Dylan film. Those kind people informed me that it was.
Kind?
Yeah, well, I'll let you be the judge. Go check out the comment section. But anyway, so I want to be clear. I did not have. No, I'm just kidding. I want to be clear. I was going to say I do not have relations with that person. But, I know nothing about Bruce Springsteen. Okay, so I'm just putting that out there. I know nothing. I did know the Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Big fan of that.
Yeah.
I've heard Born in the USA. I hear it every 4th of July. I'm familiar with it. I like it. Dancing in the Dark, maybe Courtney Cox. I think I'm familiar with that. So I know bits and pieces. I'm not a Springsteen fan, but I do know things about movies, and so I'm here to talk about the movie.
Yeah, I will echo that. I also do not know the full discography of Bruce Springsteen. I don't know the lore of Springsteen, but I was, fascinated. The time period that this movie takes place is right before he becomes globally famous, which was only about 7 to 10 years, 7 years before I was born. It's like 9 or 10 years before you were born. Yeah. Which, when I was a kid, I thought this guy was ancient.
Yes.
That's not the case. Like, as I get older, I realize how young people really are, and how their fame was already like established when I was like, well, where are the Power Rangers? Who's this Springsteen guy?
Yeah, I had no frame of reference for what era Springsteen belonged to. Before, like I knew that he was like in my head, I was like, okay, he's like maybe like late 70s, 80s. If I was guessing, turns out it's more like the 80s period. But I did. I grew up in a household that was like very much grunge and pop music, 90s music. That was kind of what we were into, as well as like some classic rock, but Springsteen never made the cut. That said, I was fascinated to figure out, like, I asked my brother-in-law, Ryan, your brother-in-law as well. He's a big music guy. I was like, tell me what I need to know for Springsteen. Like, I'm going into this movie. He was like, Nebraska. You need to know Nebraska. He's like, that's probably what the movie will be about because it's his most fascinating album. Mm-hmm. So I go to check it out. And what's hilarious to me is, like, coming out of A Complete Unknown last year, which was about Bob Dylan and was all about folk music. Nebraska is a folk album.
It absolutely is.
And so I put on this album, and I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, this sounds like the same kind of stuff I was listening to when we did the Bob Dylan thing. I was like, am I just, like, totally wrong about Springsteen? But no, it turns out, like, he released, like, a old-fashioned folk album. Everybody was blown away by it, and that was kind of the genesis for this, what became this movie eventually.
Yeah, so it's, Taylor Swift took it from Springsteen and from Bob Dylan when she released Folklore, her folk album, right?
Yeah.
Now the Swifties are going to kill us here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go down that path.
We're doomed. But anyways, yeah. So I listened to like the Spotify greatest hits of Springsteen on the way to the movie, which is like a good 45-minute drive. So I got a lot of his his songs in on the way there. One of them being "Which Was That." So I was like, wow. Okay, like this sets the tone, sets the mood for this movie that we're about to sit through for this early screening. So fascinating. So yes, again, not experts at all. We don't claim to be, so don't come for us in the comments. But we want to know what you think about Springsteen. We want to know what you think about this movie when you get a chance to see it. We saw it just a couple days before it releases. We're going to break it down by a couple of different categories, beginning with, and the Oscar goes to, we're going to tell you our best actor, best acting performance for the show. One thing that we're going to do, we're going to go quickly back and forth, but we're not going to pick the same person or the same choice for the other categories. The other categories are Scene Stealer, that's going to be Best Supporting, Showstopper, that's going to be a moment that literally stopped us in our seats, and we have to talk about it here tonight. Director's Shoes, in which we take on the shoes, literally, of the directors, and we say what we would have changed, what we didn't like, and how that affected the overall mood for the movie. And finally, Last Looks. We'll wrap it up in a bow with final thoughts and score. Cam, is it my turn to go first?
It is.
Oh, that's so great.
It is. Tron was a bit unorthodox, but I think we're back to you.
It's me. I'm so happy. Because I'm very fond of this actor, and today was a very big championship win for him. Is Mr. Jeremy Allen White, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic in everything he's been in before. I'm not a Shameless fan. I've not watched that show, but I've seen clips of him, and he looks like a grungy New York teenager that I think he plays the part. I think his name is Lip in that series. And then every other performance that I've seen him in, he really comes and rises to the occasion. This one was particularly prestige. I think it was transformative, honestly. I thought he was great in Iron Claw, but this was something much, much different. From the moment he is revealed on screen, you can tell that this is not your chef Jeremy Allen White. Same incredible physique, but every micro expression, every micro mannerism has faded away of his particular tricks, and he's really studied who Bruce Springsteen is in a way that, like, when you hear that Jeremy Allen White is going to be playing him, you're like, he doesn't look like him, but he's able to find that way through makeup and lighting and through the way that he literally relaxes or tenses his face. And I think that kind of specific physicality is so delicate that a lot of people throw out the window, but Jeremy Allen White dove straight into it. And he sings on this, and he sounds really a lot like Bruce Springsteen, the boss himself. All across the board, very impressed by Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah, I want to get I didn't like go down the path of IMDb trivia to figure out like what percentage of him is him singing and what is Bruce. Like, I felt like I could tell at times when they kind of switched it. Like, whenever when they're listening to the music, you can kind of like, you hear the actual album and things like that. But yeah, I mean, the fact that you can't always tell, and the fact that, you know, we know that he is singing at times, at least at times in the movie, really cool. And yeah, I think a lot of people will look at this and they'll think of Chef Carmy because there are some similarities in terms of what these characters are going through, and I think that because of that, they're sort of kindred spirits in a way. These two characters, Chef Carmy, who is obviously fictional, but then also Bruce Springsteen, and in terms of what they have gone through, are going through, different types of psychological trauma and things like that going on in their lives. So it's interesting, but I hope people can see, to your point, the detail that he's going to here to bring Bruce Springsteen to life. Because, you know, I don't know Bruce Springsteen, watched a few clips to kind of get a sense of it. You know, at the very least, like, I can tell what he's doing is very intentional, and it comes from a place of a lot of character study and a lot of hard work. So I hope that's recognized. I think it will be.
Who's yours?
I'm going with the other Jeremy Strong.
Hey,
who I absolutely love. He of course played Kendall Roy in one of my favorite TV shows of all time, Succession.
I am the eldest son.
Really great role from him in that. Kendall Roy is like an all-time character. This is his career turn post Kendall Roy is so interesting for me. Not even necessarily post. In Succession, he's a leading role. He is, in my opinion, the leading role in that show, though there's a lot going on. But outside of that, in film, he's a character actor. Mm-hmm. He plays these supporting roles. He plays these really like eccentric roles. We know that he goes method for his performances most, if not all of the time. So this was an interesting one. So he plays Bruce Springsteen's manager, Johnny. Or John, they call him both. Yeah. I don't know if he went by John professionally or what have you, but just again, like, I don't know this guy personally, but the level of intensity that Jeremy Strong is really known for is there through and through. But what I also like about this performance a lot is that, like, this movie is a lot about community, and it's about kind of like found family and it's intimate, and it's a story of connection, and nowhere is that exemplified more than Jeremy Strong's character. I think he lets us know just from his eyes and the way that he reacts to everything Bruce Springsteen does, how he feels about him. And then he also lets us know through his language as well, which I have to imagine was flowered up by typical Jeremy Strong isms, as those of you who know him will be familiar. So I think he was kind of going off the top of the dome a few times on some of those line reads, but I just love his presence. I love his intensity, how much he is always committed and always like all the way there in that character. I think he's exceptional. I want him to keep doing it.
Yeah, this is like his fourth time playing a mentor to a public figure.
We had The Apprentice. We had this. We had there was another one. What was the other one that I can't think of right now?
I can't think of it either. But
he's got a bunch. It just keeps. Oh well, there was. There was The Trial of Chicago 7, which is different, but the same in some ways.
Over and over again, he is this. This guru that has the answers to motivate our main character, which is a funny kind of niche to be in. I feel like that character has probably always existed, but it's never been written as large as it has for Jeremy Strong 4 times in a row for his performances.
It's funny because it's like, again, like the complete unknown parallels. Like I'm likening it to like Edward Norton.
Yes.
And if you look at their career arcs, they're like somewhat similar, other than Jeremy Strong is already in the character actor phase of his career, whereas Edward Norton. Did I say Edgar Wright at first?
I don't know.
I'm so sorry. My brain. Ed Norton like took a long time to get there because he was doing like all these high profile roles, like these like, not to demean, but like Oscar bait type roles. Like he was going for these big prestige performances, whereas Jeremy Strong's like, get me in the weird supporting roles right now. I'll just do it. Mm-hmm. So it's funny how similar they are and how similar the roles they pick now are too.
It's pretty bizarre. He's Benjamin Buttoning Ed Norton's or Edgar Wright's role.
I hope I didn't say Edgar Wright, but I probably did.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. We'll edit it out in post, I'm sure.
The names in my brain, they're just like floating around in there.
Like a soup. Hi, Dad, soup. Here we go. Next category is Scene Stealer, and I'm going to give this to Miss Odessa Young. I don't really know Odessa. Well, I mean, I know I don't know her. I've never met her in my life. But I did look up her filmography really quick, just to give you an idea of who she is, what you might have seen her in. A movie that kind of got some buzz at the end of last year called The Order with Jude Law. I do remember her once I saw her face in that character. She's been in the Staircase, which was with Colin Firth, the series based off of the crazy real life situation and the owl. All sorts of crazy things here. That if you go down her list, you should check out her work. Odessa Young, she comes on the screen, and for someone who's not like super familiar with this actor, I'm like, whoa, like absolutely magnetic. Like you catch her in the frame, and the style of her character from a costume and makeup and hair perspective could put you immediately off. It could be like, that's trying a little too hard here, but it's not, because she is fully sold on how she looks, as the actor Odessa playing into her character. The moment she speaks, I believed her. The moment. There wasn't a moment that passed that I wasn't like, she dropped the ball there. No, locked in. I'm talking like what's her name? Oh my goodness. Scarlet Witch locked in.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen. Thank
Guys,
you.
names are escaping us today. I'm just warning you. It's only gonna get worse from here.
It's gonna get so bad. We're gonna call someone like Bob Saget soon. Like just name connections and project connections. No, she's really, 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 really good. Like, and I don't want to just boil it down to such a simple word, but she is someone that was not on my radar for potential rising stars, and now she absolutely is. From start to finish, she is an absolute essential character to the core story, to her own character arc, to Springsteen's arc. I loved her in this role.
Yeah, this is the Lily James, Lucy Boynton, you know, kind of role that they tend to go for and get cast as. And so yeah, it was nice to see a new face here. Nice to see someone who is as composed as she was. You know, not being familiar with her, I was like, I didn't know what I was gonna get, but I was immediately bought in, immediately convinced. And it just gets stronger. I think her best scene is actually her last scene. And
yes,
and so that's always good. You know, it builds, and that's what you want for any character. So yeah, very good.
Who is your scene stealer, Cam?
It's Paul Walter Hauser.
Hey.
I love Paul Walter Hauser, man. I love it. He gets like very little screen time in this movie, but his whole entire purpose in this movie, much like many of the movies he is in as like little bit parts, is just to lighten it up. Mm-hmm. Just give it some air. Lighten it up, give us a couple of laughs. And it's so unbelievably effortless for him. Like it's I don't even know. I smile just thinking about this guy. And what's crazy is he's like unbelievably talented. Uh-huh. You know, it's like it looks so effortless, but he is seriously has such an awareness of tone and such an awareness of himself. He knows his own quirks and abilities and how to manipulate them to make people laugh or make people feel certain ways, because he can also take really dramatic turns in his career. And I just love the variety that we're getting from Paul Walter Hauser in his role choices, because it could be a leading man, it could be a teeny tiny bit part, it can be a villain, it can be, I mean, he can do it all. And here he's asked to do something that he's been asked to do a lot of times, which is rodeo clown a little bit and just kind of lighten it up, and he does it so well. I loved it.
My favorite part about Paul Walter Hauser is that he started off in the WWE. Like, he is a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
So when you talk about people who have made the jump from wrestling to acting, he does not get the credit. He is the most superior transitional wrestler to actor that has ever graced the screen. And I want that to be known across all fields of study, and everyone's out there that's like, oh, I love The Rock. Great. I love that you love The Rock. You need to understand that he was a wrestler as well, and he was fantastic.
Yeah, I would say in terms of critical acclaim, there's a strong argument to be made that his performances have been more critically acclaimed than any other, like in aggregate, than any other actor turned wrestler turned actor, other than maybe like Dave Bautista or something like that.
Just before you go to bed, just hit IMDb up for that final dopamine hit like I do, and just kind of scroll through actors' performances. It will blow your mind. And then go watch those performances. Yeah. So here we are at our next category. Cam, I'm going to talk about Showstopper. Mm-hmm. This one was so easy for me, so easy for me. The moment that it happened, I almost said it out loud, Showstopper, like pointed at the screen, but I think I would have gotten a lot of looks, so I withheld and restrained myself. There is a moment between our star-crossed lovers, if you will, between Springsteen, Jeremy Allen White, and the character Faye, who is played by Odessa Young, the love interest, where they are falling in love. And it is the most electric. I say that word so many times, but it is so powerful in the way that it is framed, in the way that the characters are moving towards each other, towards each other and away from each other. And I don't even want to tell you the setting, because it's such a magical setting. I was immediately in love. You know, like when you're wandering like in public and you're like, aw, They're cute. That's a cute couple right over there. Do you do that, Cam?
I've never felt that. I don't have a soul, but yeah, sure, yes.
I get little little giggles, little joy, like, oh my goodness, that's so sweet. I have that. I remember those feelings. I got that out of this. I was completely enamored at their love for each other. That was just sparkling on the screen. That's my showstopper.
That's a good one. My showstopper is the little tiny intimate moments in this movie when they just lean into it. I think this movie's at its absolute best when, and I say little tiny intimate moments. It sounds cute. It's not always cute.
It's so cute.
Sometimes it's really sad and sometimes it's really heavy. Really, like, more often than not. And I think that when the movie just kind of, it sounds rude. It sounds like when it just shuts up, like it just lets the story and the characters kind of be, and it doesn't, the writing doesn't get in the way, and it just kind of like, let's see what this character is going through right now. Like, I think about early on in the film, he shows up at a rental property that he's picked up, and we just kind of watch him interact with it, and then quietly walk up the street, and there's so much said without saying anything. And I feel like those moments are where the movie's really beautiful. And sometimes there are moments, with dialogue too, where there's these really beautiful, intimate moments. It's where they choose to go deeper. It's where they choose to go beyond surface level, struggles or even surface level triumphs, like going deeper, getting more human and feeling more genuine. That, for me, there are these like shining, glimmering moments of that in this movie. And I love it. It's powerful. They're fleeting, unfortunately. Like, there aren't enough of them. I wish it was more of that, but whenever they do it, like that's when this movie's at its best.
Yeah. You know what I loved about this is that if a complete unknown, sorry to compare movies, but if a complete unknown is a music video, basically like a string of music videos, this is, it really is like a VH1. No, that's a terrible comparison.
Behind the music.
it's more of a behind the music. Yeah. I guess it is. Yeah. That's what I was going for more so than, like, I was thinking like pop-up video when I think VH1 to date myself. But yeah, it is behind the music. I think this really does peel back the curtain on someone, again, that we don't know, that we were along for the ride, completely blind to what was going to happen. And I don't know how public this story is, quite honestly. I know he had a one-man Broadway show for a long time where he was at the piano and he picked up his guitar at times, and he would intercut moments of his life into his music, into his songs. Some originals that, like, for the show and not. But what I really, really, really love is that we didn't get that. We didn't get just a bunch of the concert. I didn't need that from Springsteen. I really didn't need it from Bob Dylan.
Right.
But I really didn't need it from Springsteen. I wanted to know who this guy was, and I felt like we got there.
For sure.
Keep going. Keep talking. No, just kidding.
I'm
I'm kidding. Director's Shoes is up next, where we tear apart Springsteen. And director Scott Cooper, known for some pretty big movies. One that a lot of people might know from the 2010s as Crazy Heart.
Yeah.
That's with Jeff Bridges. What a fantastic film that is. I saw that way late in life, and
Academy Award nominee.
Academy Award
for
nominee.
Best Picture.
It's pretty fantastic. Check that movie out as soon as you can. So I felt like we were in good hands as soon as he came on the screen. Scott Cooper does one of the, at least for our screening, says, "Hey, thanks for coming to the movies," and which I always find kind of gimmicky and silly. But I was glad to see who it was, because moments before I said, "Cam, who's directing this movie?" And he appeared. Director's Shoes with this, I feel like there's a great, strong foundation for a bunch of characters here that we never see through properly. I think it's fine if you introduce characters and we don't always have to tie the loop on them, but they're introduced in a way where they seem so significant to Springsteen's life that then they kind of trickle out. So the ensemble, though strong, we don't get the completion, the full circle of where those characters end at. And even if it was like they're waving from backstage, or they something small like an exit line, we don't even get that. They just kind of disappear a couple of times. That had to be my biggest frustration with this film.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Crazy Heart, you know how sometimes you say something, you know you're immediately wrong?
What did I say?
No, it was me. It was not nominated for Best Picture, but Jeff Bridges did win for Best Actor. So it was nominated for, I think, two Oscars.
Beautiful.
2 Oscars, nominated for 3. Anyway, my director's shoes is just it's the dialogue. I feel like I say this all the time now. We've had a lot of movies recently with dialogue issues. Screenplay is it's just cheesy at times.
Just AI.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised because there's a lot of stuff that you're like, oh yeah, he's gonna say this, and it's just you almost roll your eyes at it. It's unfortunate because, again, it's like my kids will be like, don't say shut up, if I'm talking, because I use colorful language like that, like shut up, so clutch the pearls. But I want them to shut up at times in this movie. And just,
I thought you were talking about your kids.
No. No, it's not me telling them to shut up. It's me telling other people to shut up. So I want this movie to shut up sometimes, and it just doesn't. Sometimes it feels incessant, and sometimes it feels like it's just like, and I was raving about Jeremy Strong. They're giving him dialogue to explain things to us for the umpteenth time, and I'm like, please stop. Like, please stop. We know. Or they talk about the same thing kind of over and over again, or they just give you these really cheesy setups and conversations that you're like, you could predict 2 or 3 of the lines that will be said in it, and it's painful, and I hate it. I hate whenever movies do that, and Scott Cooper also wrote this movie, so I guess this criticism is directed towards him, but I just feel like there's so much here that really they just get in their own way, from just like allowing it to get a little uncomfortable and allowing it to get a little bit weirder and just go deeper, but they have to ruin it by saying something that's just kind of cliche and cringy and not good. So that sucks. That's not what you want. And it's what happens more often than I would like. And with some of those characters you're talking about where it feels like there's more story there and things like that, those are the characters a lot of times delivering these kinds of lines, and I'm just like, please stop stop doing it. So again, I hate to say it, it's the screenplay. It's definitely the screenplay. That is the thing, like, more so than anything, that's going to take me out of a movie and take me out of a performance. And it sucks whenever there are dynamic performances like the one by Jeremy Allen White, like the one by Jeremy Strong, like the one by Odessa Young, and then you get pulled out of it because they're forced to read a line that just is not how people talk. It's just not. It's only how people talk in movies, right? And that's what you don't want. There was too much of that.
Yeah. I think you're gonna start. I gotta watch out for you. I think you're gonna start carrying a crate of tomatoes that when it takes a turn for the worst, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that was a bad line." Yeah,
I have to I have to watch myself because it's like a slippery slope for me. It's like I get one line that's like, "Ugh, that was bad," and I want to just be like, "I'm done. I quit. I can't do this anymore."
You walk out.
I have to be like, it's okay. Bad lines happen. Films are rarely perfect. It's okay. But these days, I'm just like, it just sets me off so much. Whenever I can feel myself check out, I'm just like, dang it.
The mom had a pretty over-explanatory line, and I checked out when that happened. I was like, stop. Like, just stop. It was pretty brief, honestly, but that was one of the
every character had them. It was like there was just no shortage of it. It wasn't like, oh, they really didn't know how to write this character. It was all over the place.
And then there were some extremely poetic lines.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm witnessing like just like an incredible piece of art, and then followed by a couple beats later, like, oh no.
That's what was frustrating about it. I was like, how is the same person writing this line and that line? Like, that does not compute. Like, is it just Jeremy Strong riffing? Like, is that what it is? Like, I almost feel like it was, because he says some lines that I'm like, dang, that's good. That was really good.
There's a particularly beautiful exchange between Jeremy Strong and Jeremy Allen White that Jeremy Allen White kicks off, and I love the idea that he just like improv that.
I'm at this point, I'm fully convinced. That he did, because otherwise it doesn't make sense in my head.
Oh, that's great. Well, let's take a look at our final looks, as we call it, the last looks here at our final thoughts and score for Springsteen. Deliver Me From Nowhere. Every time I look at Springsteen, it looks wrong, by the way. I thought it was
one of those.
I thought it was Stein. Nope. Double E.
It's like Berenstain.
Dude, messes me up. I glanced at my laptop and I was like, wait, oh no, what's going on here? again, incredible foundation for characters, incredible performances. I think what will keep you in your seats for the runtime of this biopic, again, formula is tried and true, is the beautiful character work that comes out and also expressed and highlighted through the cinematography. We didn't get a chance to talk about that, but the lighting, the framing, the cinematography here, you are absolutely going to be stunned by the visuals. If you pay really close attention, you'll know exactly where Springsteen's head is at when you're looking at where he's at on the camera. Is the camera low or high? What's his environment? You'll know exactly what he's about to do and what he is currently doing. I thought that kind of technical planning by Scott Cooper was brilliant, beautiful, and it just gave me all the chills. Like, oh my goodness, I can trust everything that's coming in this movie, except for the dialogue at times, like Cam said. So my score today goes for a 7.8 out of 10. Nice
score. I think I've said everything I want to say. Really, just like, I love the heart of this movie. I feel like it's in the right place. I feel like sometimes it's a little too forgiving on its lead and things like that, and I would like to see it go grittier, like to see it go deeper. Like I said, but it tends to stay pretty surface level. I feel like this will play really well for Springsteen fans who already sort of view this person as a mythical being, a legend, a living legend, and that's cool. I'm glad that it's for them. I'm very glad that it's for them. For me, sometimes I wanted a little bit less of that, but that's just me from the outside looking in. But overall, like, there's a lot here that, as much as we rag on biopics these days because they've gotten so formulaic, there's a lot here to really like that I hope people don't just skip it because they're like, ugh, another music biopic. I don't care about Springsteen, whatever. I think it's worth the watch. I think it's definitely worth it. And you'll get some pieces where you get a lot out of it. You will also get some mind-numbingly, bad pieces where you're like, oh, here we go again, classic biopic formula. But it's not all that. So for me, it's a 7.0 straight up. And it was better than I was expecting. And overall, like, very much worth the watch.
Very much worth the watch. Very, very much. I would not skip this at all. I think Jeremy Allen White has a big possibility of being nominated for the Academy Awards. I really do.
I think we could get some awards acclaim. It's going to be competitive this year. Jeremy Strong, though, too. You never know.
Jeremy Strong would be Best Supporting.
Yeah, Best Supporting. That's what I mean.
But I don't know. I don't know if I would put him in that box.
Okay.
I'll push him right out of that box.
Wow. Hater. Kirk's sipping on haterade over there. He baited me into that one.
This is the fourth time we've seen it, Cam. That's my problem.
It's not exactly the same. It's similar to The Apprentice. It's not exactly the same.
You're right. It's not copy-paste, and I haven't seen all 4 performances. But it's time for something crazy, like Mark Zuckerberg. That's a crazy next step. That's going to be very crazy.
It could be crazy.
I'm nervous about that movie. I kind of hate it, but we'll see what happens. So thank you so much for joining us. If you're a Springsteen fan, go ahead and tell us some fun facts about Springsteen. Tell us things that maybe that you hope to see in this movie, or once you see the movie, say, "Oh my goodness, when this happened in the movie, here's a little Easter egg for you." We want to know those little details because, again, no knowledge of Springsteen. Sorry.
Be nice, please.
But we're interested and we're pro this movie, so I hope that helps with the fandom out there. A couple things again. Thank you for listening and watching. All of our video content is available on YouTube. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and all other social media platforms that exist out there. All audio is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you like to listen to your podcast. I don't know where else they would be, quite honestly. And you can also view all of our written reviews on our website at popcorn4breakfast.com. That's popcorn4breakfast.com.
Yeah, there's a couple of hot new reviews on the website. I just dropped one today on A House of Dynamite, which is dropping on Netflix on Friday. Catherine Bigelow directed movie. Huge cast, so many names, really cool premise about, like, there's a missile headed for the United States. What are they going to do? So check out my review on that, spoiler free, on our website. And then also Stefano wrote a review of Harris Dickinson's directorial debut, which I was like, he's too young to be having a directorial debut, but he did. It's called Urchin. Stefano wrote a review of that. Check both of those out on our website.
Yeah, we have thousands of reviews out there now. Thousands.
I don't think that's true still.
Thousands. Yes. Thank you for our executive producer, Ryan Spriggs, and the band Rhetoric for providing all the music you hear from here in St. Louis area. Smoothie Kings, our title sponsor. We will talk to you very soon.
See ya.